Today we are going to be, talking autism, okay? Now, for those who do not know, April is Autism Awareness Month. I'm sure that is also what informed Afi Antonio to, organize her Mr. and Miss Autism in the month of April. For those who don't know anything about autism, we are going to have the conversation today because I have Afi Antonio herself here, and then as I also have Dr. Iradra Nunu as well, and then we have Holyfield also seated here. So let's have the conversation. Let's get to know, what the condition is, if there are any treatments, what also informed the creation of Mr. and Miss Autism beyond the month of April. How is all of that sustained, and also awareness brought to the condition, and also stigmatization as well. Let's get into it. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Holyfield. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine? I like your name. Your name is really unique. Yeah, stands out. I've never heard Holyfield before. So, yeah, good to know you're doing well. All right. Anyway, Afi and Dr. Iradra, thanks for coming, for joining us here this morning. Today, I will want us to, dig into, the conversation on autism, a bit more, just so that people are also, enlightened about what it is. I understand that there's a lot of stigmatization, when it comes to the condition and all of that. But I'd like to start with Dr. Iradra, to just tell us, in summary, what autism is, and then, what it's all about.
Okay, so autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder. So obviously it affects the brain, okay? And the brain handles a lot of things, It helps us to walk, your memory, your concentration, your learning, your speech, everything comes from the brain. So when you have this problem where the brain is not well developed, it can affect all these things. So that is what autism simply means, okay? It's a chronic medical condition, so it has no cure, unfortunately, but it can be managed. And we have to understand it's a spectrum disorder, so you can either be at the extreme end or at the lower end of it. So it can be in the middle. So we have some adults who are autistic, but you can't even pick that from them because they are acting and they are leading and they are living regular lives. You have some who are very dependent on their families, their parents do everything for them. Some of them you have to bath them, you have to feed them, you have to clothe them, you have to do everything for them. So across the spectrum, your symptoms can be very bad or not so bad. Usually by age 2 to age 3, you should, as a parent, you should pick up certain things in your child that may let you know, okay, your child may have autism, okay. These things are things such as your child not being able to walk, not being able to crawl, certain milestones that should be achieved at a certain age, he's not achieving them. He's not smiling with you when you smile back. He's not talking to you, at least babbling, and he's not being responsive. He or she avoids eye contact with you. Like to isolate themselves a lot, be at a corner somewhere, play by themselves, or they just throw tantrums for no particular reason. So as a parent, you need to be alert and be seeing all these symptoms. Sometimes the child can actually acquire certain milestones, but then regresses. So it goes back to the way it was. Let's say your child was walking by age 1. Then when it gets to 18 months, it just suddenly stops walking. Okay, definitely it's not normal.
Yeah.
So we call it regression of milestones. So as a parent, you should be looking out for all these symptoms. And once you see these ones, then you come to us. Okay, so when you come to us, then we assess the child. It's a whole team that manages the autistic child. It's not just one doctor. We have pediatricians, we have psychologists on board, we have dietitians, we have physiotherapists, we have speech and language therapists. All these people come together to manage the child. When we put you on medications and all that, we'll teach you how to communicate with your parents effectively. And it's a whole process. It's not as easy as it seems.
You mentioned that it's identifiable, by the age of 3,
yes.
Right? Before that
between age 2 and 3.
Before that age, when maybe the baby has not even yet come out into the world, is there a possibility, to identify it? And if so, what advice do you give, the parents? Also to prep them, mentally, because it must be, a difficult, one to know that
very, very.
You're going to, it's a lifetime thing, right? Lifetime dedication to, our special ones.
Yes. So unfortunately, you can't diagnose autism before birth.
Okay.
It's not done through like some other medical conditions. Okay. Like Down syndrome, like this, you can test the amniotic fluid and see the chromosomal abnormalities. But with this one, you can't check because basically it has no cause per se. But there are certain risk factors that may occur in a woman that you are likely to have or give birth to an autistic child. This is not cut in stone because science is very complex, but I'll still just mention a few. So mothers that have an increased maternal age before they give birth, so let's say you give birth after your 30s, 35, 40s, and those things, they have a higher risk of having a child with autism.
Right.
Secondly, those who had preterms or some birth complications, the child had birth asphyxia, didn't have enough oxygen at birth. Those things can also increase your chance. And not eating right, not having a healthy pregnancy and delivery, those things have been linked to it. So, and then a few genetic factors as well. But these are not cut in stone. So we don't have any specific cause per se for autism.
Right.
But these are a few things that at least, to some extent, they put you at a higher risk. Even toxins, air pollution, all those things, pesticides and stuff. So they're just there for you to know that if you don't protect yourself, during the time when you're pregnant, you expose yourself to these things, you may have a child. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Irajwa. Now, I would also want to, tap from Afi Antonio's knowledge. Now, Afi Antonio is also the founder of the Afi Antonio Foundation. Okay, she's been doing so much, even beyond autism, right? So the creation of the Afi Antonio Foundation, and then also now narrowing down, specifying that you want to champion, the cause of autism.
Okay, so when it comes to my foundation, we focus on 3 different areas. That's health, education, and women empowerment. So autism happens to fall under health. Yes, so under health, I do other things as well. But I decided to add autism to it. Yes, so basically that is it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Now, the health aspect, right? I mean, I understand when you say health, education, and that, right?
Yeah.
What was that, compassionate point for you, to get to say that I want to, handle or deal with, autism, or I want to create awareness. I want to bring it to the fore, just spotlight that, and then also, in creating your Mr. and Miss Autism as well.
Okay, so when I came into contact with a child living with autism and I was helping her be a photo model, I enjoyed doing that.
Okay.
I could see that she was very happy. Anytime she realized that we are going to have a photo shoot, makeup, like they were so happy with it. So I'm like, okay, I think I also love the part that I'm able to put smiles on their face. So why not just, think of doing something for them and just stay in that space. And I also realized that most of the parents find it challenging going out with their children because of the stigma.
Right.
So then I decided, what can I do to help create awareness for that? So that's how come I decided to put together the Mr. and Miss Autism.
Now that you've mentioned parents, right, how are you able to grow trust? Because these are people who hold their children really dear, right? Also because of their condition.
Yeah.
It's something that they will not be easily trusting of somebody else, to handle their children or to even take care of their children, right? In building the trust and in getting the parents on board, and also, by extension, the children, how did that happen for you? How easy was that?
Okay, so I started with Nanaya, Auntie Mary's daughter. And it was pretty much easy with Nanaya because the mom was there to help. From the beginning, I didn't know anything about autism. When I started, I didn't know anything about autism. So Nanaya's mom posted a photo of her that her daughter has autism, but she wants her to be a photo model. So if someone could help. And someone commented with my name under the post. So that's how I got to see Nanaya, and I decided to help her. And then other parents started messaging me, they saw the photos, and that's how I ended up in that space. So I'm like, okay, what can I also do? And Nanaya's mom helped because I didn't know anything about autism from the beginning. So when Nanaya does something and I don't understand, she will explain to me, do it like this, and she will talk to Nanaya to understand what I'm also trying to say. So, and some of the parents are like, Afi, it looks like in Kuala Pewasem.
Yeah.
So I didn't struggle with any of them. They naturally drew towards to me. Like, we loved each other. Like, let me put it that way. And most of the parents are like, in Kuala we say, if you don't, their spirits don't agree with you.
There's
when you
nothing
come
you can do
closer to
about
them, they
it.
won't. Yes,
Yeah.
but I've never encountered anything like that before.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
I would say maybe I'm blessed. Like, it's my calling. I was called
Purpose.
for
I was
it.
just going to say that you found,
Yeah.
what your purpose is, and so it's probably also why God will make it so easy for you, to be able to, relate with and to them. All right. What has been the highest point, of first the Afi Antonio Foundation, and then you're championing the cause of autism through Mr. and Miss Autism?
With the foundation, what I would say I did that really, really, makes me so proud was being able to send one of the kids I was raising funds for to South Africa for a cochlear implant.
Oh.
Yes. And that was the time that I was able to travel outside Ghana. Like, I'm not one who is eager to travel and all that. So I would say that was my first experience. And it was true that I was able to travel to South Africa twice. Because when we were going to have the surgery, I was supposed to be there to report on it. And then I went back when she was going to hear sound for the first time to report to followers, those who sent us the money and all that. Yes, so I would say that would be the highest point in all that I've been doing with my foundation.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Now I'll come to support and how you're able to sustain whatever you're doing through the foundation really soon. But I want to ask Dr. Irajwa, you know how we've spoken about there not being any cure, it has to be managed and all of that. Psychologically, how do you relay this information to the parents, right? And then also, are there parents who are willing to manage it for the lifetime of the children? And are there parents who want to rescind that decision of being the parents and then also giving them up for adoption? What are the options? How are these parents, handled when they come to you?
Okay, thanks for your question. I think it's a very, very good question because we have a lot of challenges in that area. People in this environment, people always link autism to a spiritual disease or a spiritual cause. So they think that maybe it's a curse or something, They don't think it's a medical condition like having hypertension or diabetes or, any malaria or something. They just assume that it's a spiritual something. So most of them don't even report to us. They end up going to prayer camps or to herbalist or something. So by the time they even bring the kids, it's like they are probably 7, 8, 9. When the child is no longer walking, cannot talk, it's you have to like really start from scratch. And they don't really come as early as they should. Some too, because of the low level of awareness and education, they don't really have any idea about autism. Like what Afi was saying, she had no knowledge about it. So because you don't know about it, even when you are seeing the symptoms, you're a bit hesitant to report to the hospital because you don't even know what it is. And you think the child will grow out of it, or maybe the child, let me wait more and see. The child will grow up, maybe you start talking, let me give it some chance, So they don't come as early as they should. Now, when they finally come, and we assess them and we break the news to them, we let them see a clinical psychologist afterwards as well. They go through some counseling process, and we let them know that it's a chronic disease, okay? It's not curable. But by coming to the hospital frequently and by going through appointments, your child can live a regular life like others, okay?
Right.
The child can learn to do things. And when you train these children quite well, you show them the love that they actually deserve, they can come out and actually portray certain things that even with the regular people we cannot do. Some of them can paint so well, they can draw, they can sing, they can play the piano. They're quite intelligent. But you have to just be the one to find or discover that thing, that talent or skill in them.
And guide them.
And
Yeah.
guide them. And every child is different. They're all unique in their own way.
Yeah.
They have several talents. And I will tell you more about it when she discusses her show. Because they have different talents. And until you harness that, until you give them that chance, and to explain to the parents that please love your child and be there for them, for you to experience all these things, it's not going to come out. So it's a challenge though, but I mean, we take them through the counseling process when we break the news to them. And we let them know that it's a lifelong something. It's a journey. So the parents should be there for them 24/7. Some would abandon. We've had spouses where the husband would leave or the wife would leave. You know, yes. Some of the parents who lock their children up, they're ashamed. So you go to church, you leave the child behind, you lock them because of the stigma. I mean, people are afraid to come out and say, oh, I have a child who has this condition, you know. So they rather lock the child up. Some of them too, the fees are expensive. They can't afford these autism centers. Most of them are private. We don't have any, I think besides the Jolly special school, we don't have any other specialized school for them. So the private centers too, if you cannot afford it, what do? You end up keeping your child at home. So these are a few challenges that we actually face. It makes it a bit tough though. But we're hoping that maybe someday we'll have better policies in place that can have some educational structure for children living with these conditions.
Fingers crossed when it comes to that. But also, you did mention earlier that it's a spectrum, right? Some people show, some people don't, right? For those who don't show it, what's that one thing that you can pinpoint to say that this person has, you know, a certain level of autism? Because if it's not showing, we wouldn't know, you know.
So those people tend to have problem in their relationships. Until you are closer to them, you may not know. So they have very poor communication skills, you know. So they don't communicate effectively to you. So they're always having some fights with them and all those things, you know. Or you are with them, you're out with them, but they're going to sit in a corner, maybe invite them to a party, they're in a corner somewhere, sipping their cocktail. Do not mingle with everyone.
Right.
So those are a few subtle symptoms that you can see, yes. But the person is able to walk and talk all right and everything, but they avoid that social communication skills. It's a challenge for them.
Okay. I'll come to you on the policies and, you know, what better ways we can champion this cause and just make sure that we provide the right environment for them to thrive in, because inclusion is really, really important.
Very.
So just hold on to that. But I did mention that we'll talk about support, right?
Yeah.
And how you've been able to rally people to trust you, you know, and give you whatever they have, you know, the little they have, you know, to support, because there's nothing, you know, too little, quote unquote, you know, every money goes a long way to help one way or the other, right? And then we get into talking about the Mr. and Miss Autism that's happening on Saturday, the 27th of April.
So when I started the foundation, before I started, I had already started using my social media to ask for help from my followers. So I would hear someone's story and I feel, okay, let me post about it and see if I'll get help. Then I'll get the help and all that. So I was already doing that when I hadn't registered any foundation yet.
Okay.
So because of that, it was easier for people to trust me when I finally said, now I have a foundation, I want to do this like fully. So basically that has been it. Again, I'll say I'm lucky. I'm favored like that. So places people will go and might not get help, I will go and I'll get some sort of help.
Nice.
Yeah. And Holyfield loves 3 Music. I hear that's the station he loves to watch because he loves music. Yeah.
You're happy.
So I could see that he was looking and was laughing and smiling.
You have to take him on tour. 3 Music tour, really important. Holyfield will do that. We'll do that for you, definitely. But Afi, Mr. and Miss Autism is happening on Saturday, right? What are your expectations, you know, of the day? What should we who are attending be looking out for?
Okay, so since it's to create awareness on the condition, I would want people to come expecting to see something amazing from these children. We have some who will be exhibiting their talent, like Holyfield. He will be singing. I know he can DJ.
He's going to do that for us before
Yes,
we
he will.
finish
Yes.
the interview. So yeah.
He will sing, and then he's able to identify artists when you put their photos on screen. He will mention the name. And there's one boy who can recite the alphabet in 15 different languages. Can you do that? How many languages can you
How many
speak?
languages can I even speak before? 15.
And he's only 10 years.
Oh.
Yes. And I have Melanie, who is also, she will be modeling. So they should come and just experience them and have a change of mind. You know, I just want people to come, mingle with them and understand them more. That way, when you also go out there, you see someone making fun of a child like that, because you have seen it, you'll be able to also educate that person.
Right.
You know, so that's the main purpose behind the event. People should come, so that I'm just praying that one day any parent who has a child living on the spectrum can also send their child to the park to play with other children, because there are some parents who feel they tell their children not to go close to children like that.
Yeah. So there has to be a certain form of education across, you know, every strata, right? Whether you're a parent, whether you're a child, whether you're a parent of an autistic child, whether you're a friend to an autistic child, you know, all of that, so that everybody is aligned.
Yes. So I just pray that there will be a day where there won't be any difference. Okay, this one is this, so I don't want to go close to them. I don't want my children to play with them and all that. We are all one. They are all like us. We are all human beings. They have red blood flowing in them just like us. You know, it's just that they're a little different because of their condition. They need more patience to understand them. They need love. Like Holyfield says, he's 14 years, 17 years, but he behaves like a child who is like 4 years. So you have to understand. Someone who is 17 years, what the person can do, he can't do because his understanding is very slow. So that's how the condition is. You just have to patience, a lot of patience.
Patience. Now, Dr. Rajwa, how patient have you doctors been, you know, in pushing for policies and then also demanding that there are more schools open, there are more centers, facilities where these children can find comfort, you know, can be happy, can thrive in, you know, their passion and their talents as well?
Trust me, after the pushing, we are pushing. But, you know, with everything that we do, we need a political will, you know. So if we don't have that backing, you know, that's where the government actually has to come in and support us. You know, until, because they are the ones who, yes, we can bring something on board, but if they don't take it upon themselves, it's okay. Let's formulate this policy. Let's implement this policy. It's not gonna take effect.
Right.
So we can just give our recommendations, you know, and we can just humbly suggest to them that we need these centers for these children. Okay. We need to train more teachers in the school so that they are aware of these things, because some of them, they don't even know these conditions actually exist. So they'll just be lashing the child. You're a stubborn child, you don't know anything. They'll be punishing you, you know, because they lack the understanding, because they don't have the education on it. Exactly. So until we decide to put those measures in place, it's going to be a big challenge for us. So we just plead.
Keep pushing.
Yes.
I think that's all we can hope for. Right,
and then they do advocacy and education, hope that it gets across to them eventually.
In Bible. But Afi, it's happening here at the forecourt of Free Music on Saturday. Start time, you know, and it's free.
Yes, it's
right?
free.
Yes, it is free. So please come and watch them. I'm very particular about, you know, whatever is going to be happening on the day, because I want to see how everybody else, you know, accepts, you know, that this is a part of our society, right? And there's nothing you can do about it, and accepting them for who they are and what they do, and then their talent as well. So I'll be here to
and it's the battle of the champions. So we have all the other winners coming together this year.
Okay.
Yes.
So far, how many winners do you have?
We've had 3 editions. So 3 queens and 3 kings.
So 6 in total.
Yes, they'll be coming together to battle it out this year. And I
right.
would love to say a shout out to Holyfield School Center, Hope Setters Center in Tema. They've done an amazing job with him.
Do you want to clap? Should we clap for them? Yay! Now, they did mention that he's able to identify pictures of, artists. He loves music. And so we are going to have him show us all what he can do. Holyfield, are you ready?
Holyfield.
Who's this? Amrado. Yeah, you got that. Okay, next picture.
Wendy Shea.
Wendy Shea. Next picture.
Black Sherry.
Black Sheriff. Next picture. Okay, so just 3 pictures for today. So that's fine. Now on Saturday, don't worry. On Saturday, Holyfield, we'll show you
more
a
pictures.
lot more pictures for you
About
to
20.
identify. Okay? So many more pictures for you to identify, and then I also want you to sing, for us on Saturday. You want to do that now? Or you want to wait till Saturday? Saturday. Holyfield.
He's not ready today.
No.
He doesn't sing on Wednesdays, that's why.
Okay. So Saturday. Holyfield, I said Hollywood even. Holyfield is pumped and ready for Saturday. But congratulations, Afi Antonio, for pulling off, 3 editions so far and then doing this one. I understand that it's not easy, especially being an NGO and running this. And thank you, Dr. Irajwa, for being on the train as well. And to Holyfield's parents as well, God bless you all. And to every, parents, generally, right, who
it's not easy being a parent
autistic, children. God bless you all. Now, this is Culture Daily, and this has been Unpacking. Cyril is up next, bringing us stories from the field, literally, right? Because he's going to be talking about sports. And then we have Isofwa. Today is a Wednesday, and so Instagram has a lot of trending stories on there. Issy is going to bring that to us on the Trending Live segment. And then we head into the big conversation. Olele joins us. Like Jay mentioned earlier, is going to be an industry conversation today. We are on till 10 a.m. coming to you on 3 Music TV and Plus 89.9 FM. My name is Lenny Lumute. Stay tuned.